Hey there, everyone. Well, welcome. Let's take a deep breath together. Inhale and exhale. Remember, you don't have to earn this moment. You're allowed to just be here exactly as you are. Hey, beloveds. I'm Coach Chris, and this is Radical Rest, Radical Rise. This is where we lead with care, rest with intention, and rise on our own terms. Today, I'm going to talk to you about a phrase that so many of us have internalized, especially as leaders of color and LGBTQ plus folks. And that is the phrase, you have to work twice as hard to get half as much. It's a belief rooted in our survival. It's meant to protect us. It's passed down with love and caution from our families, from our communities, from our ancestors. But I'm here to tell you something that I've discovered, a truth that has been in my own lived experience. That this belief may have helped us to survive, but it's not going to help us thrive. It's burning us out. So if this already hits close to home, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps more leaders like you, leaders who lead with heart but carry too much, find the space for healing, rest, and liberatory practices. So, I'm going to share with you some of my own personal experience really briefly. I used to live by that rule. I was always an overachiever, always a perfectionist, and also being a queer person of color, coming from Filipino heritage. Growing up, I always felt, ashamed, for being gay. And so I thought, one way that I'm going to offset that shame is by being a perfectionist and always overachieving. So I was the straight A student. I was the one who has multiple degrees. I mean, I've got a doctorate, I've got a PhD. I did everything to be that overachiever, to adopt that type of identity. And so that rule, you have to work twice as hard to get half as much, was a mantra that just aligned so well with how, I was living my life. And, one day, I was, working. And, for those of you who don't know me, just briefly, I was a tenured professor in a research university up until about 4 years ago. And I felt, in my heart, my spirit, and in my body, I just felt that I had completely burned out. And I felt so disconnected and disengaged, from life, from my work. This mantra that I was living by, working twice as hard, 3 times as hard, 10 times as hard, that rule was just not cutting anymore. Outworking everyone, proving myself again and again, that type of proving energy, never show weakness. It gave me burnout. It gave me resentment. It gave me disconnection from my body, my joy, and my ease. So I'm going to propose to you right now a shift. We don't need to prove. We, as people of color, as leaders of color, as LGBTQ plus folks, we need rest. So let me offer you something different today. Something that I've been thinking about lately. Well, not lately, for the last couple of years. The system is not broke. Let me go back to that. The system is broken, but you are not broken. Rest is not a luxury, it's your birthright. You don't need to overfunction to be enough for yourself. And so, right now, I'm going to offer you 3 ways to resist the work twice as hard trap. So, let's talk about these 3 ways. You can start the shift in your beliefs today about yourself. So, tip number 1, notice where it lives in you. Ask yourself, where am I still trying to prove I belong by overworking? Maybe it's staying too late at work. Maybe it's working, past midnight, saying yes to your boss, to your friends, to your family when you really mean no. Over preparing everything to feel safe, I do that, in my meetings. I'll prepare an agenda for, more than an hour just to plan what we want to say. I feel like if I over prepare everything for this meeting, the conversation will go really well. But honestly, it's not a feeling of safety, it's a feeling of fear. So what I'm doing right now is noticing and being aware that these things are happening, noticing where it lives within you is the first part of resistance. If you can name it in yourself, in your body, in your mind, you can begin to shift it. Tip number 2, build a rest as strategy practice. Rest isn't a retreat from leadership. So it's not a 4-week vacation to Bali, spending thousands and thousands of dollars, at a retreat center. But if that's what you like to do, if that's your thing, do you, boo. It really is a return to your own inner voice and your own inner power. And so there are little things that you can do. You don't have to take the trip to Bali just yet. But today, tomorrow, you can take 10 minutes before a big meeting. Let's say you're presenting, just 10 minutes to breathe. Like we did in the beginning of this call. Breathing in, breathing out. Take those 10 minutes to just really listen to your breath. You can give yourself permission to just go a little slower today, whether through it's your work day, if it's, dealing with your kids, dealing with your husband, dealing with your spouse, making dinner, all those things that you have to get accomplished. Give yourself to take a beat. Give yourself permission to take a beat. Go slow. And then also protect your recovery time like it's sacred, because it is. So you're doing a lot of strenuous activities each day. Just think about it. I mean, getting up in the morning, taking a shower, going to work, getting through that commute, or if you're a remote worker, getting everything set up for the day. At the end of the day, we often feel mentally and emotionally, spiritually drained and exhausted. So I want you to, at the end of the day, when you've completed your work, protect your recovery time. If you need that silence on the couch, just closing your eyes or taking a longer walk with your dog and just enjoying, the outdoors, or even just closing your eyes for a little bit. That's your recovery time. Protect it like it's sacred, because it is. Tip 3, surround yourself with what I call liberated leadership models. So find people in your life that you notice like, whoa, they say no a lot. They lead with boundaries. They have good boundaries with other people. People who say no with clarity, no, period, as its own sentence. People who talk about resting without guilt or without shame. Let them lead you. Let their leadership remind you that you're not alone in this unlearning. Those are opportunities when you notice those people. Those are opportunities for learning. Those are opportunities for connection. Strike up a conversation. Learn from each other. Hold each other accountable. So surround yourself. And so I like to think of this channel, as part of that community. You're part of it now. We can learn how to rest, recover, and rise with intention together as a community. So here's your prompt for the week. Other than hitting the like and subscribe buttons on this YouTube channel, I want you to think, what part of working twice as hard am I ready to just retire? Am I ready to lay down? And what would I need in order to feel safe enough to do that? So again, what part of working twice as hard am I ready to lay down? And what would I need to feel safe in order to do that? Breathe into it, write it out, and hold it close to your heart and your mind and your soul and your spirit. So if this resonated again, if something inside you said, yes, that's totally me, subscribe, like, and share this with someone else who's caring too much and who deserves so much more. So until next time, rest deeply, rise boldly, and lead with love and intention. And love you all, beloveds, with rest and rising always, Coach Chris.